My name is Mary Rednauer. This is my presentation for the professional development modules. I combined both of them into one slideshow. We are going to be talking about three different segments of learning, but also paired with the ADDIE model for instructional design. So this first one was developed in the University of Florida. We're going to look at the multi-tier system of supports, or the MTSS, the Universal Design for Learning, or the UDL, and the Differentiated Instruction, or DI Professional Development Model. So the multi-tier system of support, it traditionally is a prevention framework. It's completely data-driven. So this means that it is vital to collect data on individual students, monitor the students' performance, and then once you have those in place, it's easier to design and implement strategies for learning success. Now, this acts as a foundation to use resources and build individuals' academic and/or behavior needs. So this is really important to do if you see that the child may be at risk for learning outcomes. The MTSS components, it's very important that there are differentiations with the instruction for each individual students. That there's systematic change, so change within the whole structure of the learning day. Positive behavioral support, so this means not degrading a student for not getting the work done on time, not doing the same level of work. Positive behavioral support, it just means that you are praising the student for where they're at and slowly upgrading your expectations. And of course, you always want to have continuous monitoring. For the Universal Design of Learning, or the UDL, this is a set of rules for the curriculum development that provide all students with equal opportunities to learn. Now, with saying that, it provides them equal opportunities to learn, but it also provides a flexibility in each student's engagement, in their lessons, and the ways for the students to respond and show what they know. So this is very important for all learning styles. For example, all learning styles are not going to give you the same level of assessment if you just gave them a final exam of multiple questions. Or multiple choice questions. Some students might actually show you more of what they know if it was a project-based assessment, not necessarily a exam format. The National Center on Universal Design for Learning said that UDL provides a blueprint for creating instructional goals, methods, materials, and assessments that work for everyone. Not a single one-size-fits-all solution, but rather flexible approaches that can be customized and adjusted for individual needs. For the differentiated instruction, or the DI, this is done with all effective teaching. This should be done all the time with every student because every student learns differently. Differentiated instruction provides all learning styles with different avenues to learn regardless of differences in abilities. If you have a student that is above and beyond what the rest of the class is learning, we still need to differentiate the instruction for them and to help them learn even more about the topic. DI can be done in the content, like the lessons, the learning process, like the activities, and the learning environment, such as providing a student with a flexible seating instead of sitting in a hard chair. if a student is so physically antsy when they are doing their work, you might even give them a medicine ball or a bouncy ball to sit on instead of a traditional hard desk chair. DI is flexible and student-centered instruction and learning that is tailored to each student's needs. Teachers use formative and summative assessments to guide differentiated instruction and closely monitor students. Now, how do these three things apply to instructional design, or ID? Instructional design is student-centered, just like we said in differentiated instruction, universal design for learning, and multi-tier systems of support. All of these are student-centered because it is about how the student learns, not your class as a whole. Instructional design is used to reach every learner and every learning style. It demands constant student observation and differentiated instruction. Individual student observation is vital to every step of instructional design. Data is at the heart of instructional design, which pairs with the student observation. You can get a lot of your data through assessments, but also through student observation. And then instructional design relies heavily on collaboration with other educators to help differentiate and get ideas for your instruction to reach all learners. So another model for instructional design is called the ADDIE instructional design. So ADDIE stands for Analyze, Design, Development, Implement, and Evaluate. Most instructional design models are variations of the ADDIE model. The ADDIE model was one of the first instructional design models, and a lot of the ones to follow were based off of that. So in the analysis phase, it's goal setting, where we focus on putting design of the content, putting the design together of the content for the students. In the design phase, we're determining goals, performance tools, assessments, the content, and the planning. In the development stage, we use data collection to differentiate the content or the lessons for the future. In the implementation stage, we are continuously modifying the lesson and the content to reach most students. This is where the instructional design is redesigned, updated. We do self-evaluations here, and then it's individually adjusted to meet all students, which is a form of differentiated instruction, universal design, and the multi-tier supports. And then in the evaluation, we learn how the students accepted the information and the content that was learned. And then we need to evaluate as teachers to see if we need to change our instructional design or teach the content more. This is an image or a graphic design of the ADDIE instructional design. It needs to be noted that the ADDIE instructional design does not necessarily always need to follow in this form or this cycle of analysis, design, development, implementation, and evaluation, but it flows nicely with lessons if we do it in this format. Thank you.